Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Thursday, the 27th of October. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. All right, coming up today, we have got race selections for the 27th of October. It's going to be 4 bets, £15 stakes. It's a 3/4 stake. First race is the 140 at Lingfield, and it's one of my favoured two races. The fairly unstandout Class 6 handicap at Lingfield, the 140, is one of my top two races for Thursday. So before I get to those, I will go through today's bets, which were horrific. So we'll go through that. I have to say, I'm just, to get the channel to a place where we can have a horrific day like today and nobody chucks abuse and people having bantering about losing. People are very kind, but because people appreciate you can't win every day. And when I go through the review, I will talk about statistically today was a bad day. It really was a bad day. Not in terms of as in it was a bad day as in for the channel profit and loss, but actually for a bet. It looks on paper to a lot of people at face value like today's a day you want to get excited about. It was a really bad day mathematically, and I'll explain why. I'll come to today to the bets for Thursday. Before I do that, quick recap of Wednesday. So we had 20 on, 144 back. That is all it was because we had a place and a non-runner in the saver bet. So, what did we have here? We had the first bet there, 4 a day, big drifter, came back a little bit, but didn't run a race. Nordic Passage wasn't good. Portarlington, try and get that right, Tony. I appreciate people have got a lot of patience with me butchering place names and pronunciations of Gaelic words. Portarlington, Tony has put me on the straight and narrow, but hopefully I've said that right or I've just said it wrong 2 more times. And then Hales, that was packed into 7-1, and you're thinking, oh, this is a good one. No, it wasn't. So nothing back on bet 1. Then bet 2, again, on face value, nothing back there. And then when you go through it and you go, I think Newmore was 9th, Kodiak Prince 8th, Sequoia Spirit 11th, Bellic 9th, something like that. They were all 8th, 9th, 10th or 11th, which doesn't sound very good. But when you say every race had 23 runners, they weren't far away for the prices they've got. It doesn't help us because we've got no money back. But what I would say is, if you actually looked at those 4 handicaps, there was 102 horses that ran across the 4 handicaps. And even if you were on 365 or Sky Bet and you were getting 6 places, there were 24 of those 102 horses that were in the frame, so you would have got some money back for. So statistically speaking, that is 4.25, 1 in 4.25 chance. I try and avoid the complicated maths on here, but I think it's helpful for some. There's a 1 in 4.25 chance of getting a horse in the frame. So statistically speaking, if you were picking blind 6 horses in those races like I did, you would expect 1 or 2 to come in the frame. So we clearly were underperforming blind testing. So blindly, you would expect on that ratio, 1 or 2 out of 6 would basically there. We weren't there. Those ratios at 1 to 4.25 is a lot worse than we normally do on any race. You'll hear me talk about 7-runner races, and I don't like doing them. But even in a 7-runner race, you've got a 1 in 3.5 chance of getting in the frame in the first 2. So you've got a better chance of getting in the first 2 in a 7-runner race than you did in having a horse frame in any of these races today. The thing with it makes it look attractive is, unlike a lot of races, you're guaranteed to get some decent prices in those top 6 places because there's so many runners. And today, 2 14-1 shots and 2 25-1 shots were there. So you're guaranteed to get big prices. It looks exciting, but statistically, they were not actually good races in terms of your chance of getting a horse placed. So none of the main horses ran terribly, but none of them got in the frame. So we got nothing back. And I'm not trying to kind of justify and say why it was a bad day. I'm just trying to help explain to people that sometimes on days you get like a 24, 25 runner handicap. It's rare where you get 4 all at the same meeting, all on the same day. And when you multiply the difficulty of trying to get horses in the frame in all of them, it makes it really, really hard. So one of the hardest days to try and win on, physically win on, but there was clearly some lovely prices, so we had to go after it. And then, so this was, bet 3 was rubbish, we don't even need to go through that one. And then bet 4, that horse didn't fancy it, so no turning back, it did turn back, it didn't go in the stalls. Jack Sparrow got back to 5-1 and just couldn't quite get there, but then Perfect Myth wasn't great, and Tribal Commander went from the front, and very unfortunate. Neil Callan's horse in that race. You don't see it often, and on an experienced jockey, he ran the horse through the line after it had done about 6 furlongs, and it's a 2-mile handicap, and he must feel incredibly embarrassed. I haven't read anything about it since, but yeah, not our horse, fortunately. Our horse didn't run very well anyway, but yeah, unfortunate for Neil Callan. I mean, bamboozled. How I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure he's tired, but yeah, accidentally running in it, thinking you're running a 6 furlong sprint when you're actually running a 2-mile handicap. Awkward. So yeah, 20 on 144 backs. That's a terrible start to the week. What have we got for Thursday? So I've gone very light on Clonmel. So Clonmel might be the obvious place to start for a lot of people because they're big field races. I wasn't feeling it. Sometimes on these low quality, there's a lot of it more in Ireland than there are in the UK. Low quality handicap hurdles. It's one of those ones, anything can happen. The markets are a bit changeable. The weather, the ground's not great. So, you know, clearly something's got to win and something's got to get placed, but I couldn't get a strong read. So if you like mathematical advantage, it was much better to have a go on the Clonmel handicaps for Thursday than it would have been today. Even you got a better chance of striking something. So I've gone easy on them. I'm mainly focused on the all-weather at Lingfield and Chelmsford, and I've got 2 preferred races that would not be the races most people would look at. One is the 140 Lingfield, 9-runner handicap. Sky are paying 4, everyone else is free. So Sky have definitely got a benefit there, but I would still be I'll be putting these bets on myself outside of Sky, personally. And then the 6 o'clock Chelmsford, 14 runners, most bookies are paying 4. Those are my preferred 2 races because I've got a couple in each I think are decent prices. So yeah, that's where I've gone today. So I'll be bucking the trend and not going for the obvious at all. So £15, bet 1, 18p lucky 15s. The lucky 15s are slightly smaller today. It was just to basically try and work out the stake because I've got 2 lucky 15s, an each way Trixie and an each way combination doubles bet, and it just worked out the way I've done it. So they're not quite full normal channel stake because I didn't want to make it up to £20. Sky are best for all bets today as well. So 140 Lingfield to Cedric 18s, 6 o'clock Chelmsford Bobby on the beat 20s, 7 o'clock Chelmsford Got No Dollars 13-2, and 8 o'clock Chelmsford Amasova. So you'll see there's a bit of a weight here. We've got the 140 Lingfield, and then we've got a big old gap until the rest of the bets for the all-weather ones. So if it's gone well, we got a teaser to sort of see if we can get anything with it. If it goes badly, then it's about how much can we recover at Chelmsford. So that's 18p each way lucky 15. Sky best, Coral second best for bet 1 if you've got the options. Then turn the page. Bet 2 is the other lucky 15, and again a slightly smaller stake on this one. 140 Lingfield, the other horse there is My Bonnie Lassie 28s. 505 Lingfield by Jove 28s. 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, that is 6 o'clock Chelmsford, Nubo 18-1, and 7:30 Chelmsford, Tara 8-1. 16 pence each way, lucky 15, that's 480 bet. Sky best, 365 next best, Coral third best on bet 2. And then we've got the combination double bet. So these are my 4. This is basically going to make or break the day really, because these are in the lucky 15s as well. So it needs to be pretty decent outside if these go bad. So the 140 Lingfield, so Cedric My Bonnie Lassie. When I started looking through this, they were priced up as 12s and 20s, and I thought, oh yeah, I quite like those. They're worth it. And then they've both since drifted out, one by 6 points, one by 8 points, and you know a lot of people would look at that and go, well, that's no one likes them, so. Ugh. Obviously, as you know, my thoughts on these are slightly unconventional, so I've looked at that and got more excited because they're better prices. 6 o'clock Chelmsford, Bobby on the beat 20s, Nubo 18s. So it's 4 times 30p each way doubles. So it's a £2.40 bet. So it's all combinations of doubles between those two races, which are my favourite races for Thursday. Sky best, Coral next best. Sky are the only ones paying 4 on that. Most of the major bookies are 4 on that one. So you are getting the extra place on a combination doubles bet. It pays to have 4th place, particularly in a 9-runner race. But if you think about that, like I said earlier, 24 places today out of 102 horses. Here we've got 8 places to play with if you're on Sky out of 23. So that's a 1 in 2.85 chance of having a horse hit the frame. So in essence, the likelihood should be that one of those hits the frame. Now clearly I'm playing with bigger odds. I'm trying to beat the market by doing it, but statistically speaking, we should get one of those placed. We want to at least place in to make some money. Hopefully that makes sense. I try and avoid the complicated maths because I know for some people it goes bamboozled people and they just don't want to hear it. For some people, I appreciate they're at a level where it's helpful to hear some of it. So I'm trying to strike the balance right with mathematic explanations without making myself sound like some sort of computer. All right, finally then, finishing off, I've got a Clonmel Trixie. That's my Clonmel bet. So it's just each way doubles and trebles. No singles on my bets for these. Sky are 5 on all 3. Bet365 are 5 on 2, but not the last one. So it's a bit of a close one, to be honest. But you've got one extra place on there with Sky, but actually having Bog across those with Bet365 is possibly marginally better. So yeah, on balance, if I was putting it on completely purely by myself and I was picking a bookmaker, I'd probably put it with Bet365, even though I put Sky on there. But it's just a marginally safer bet with Sky. So 220 Clonmel, Southerner 12 to 1, 330 Clonmel, Barbara Queen 16 to 1, 405 Port Storm 8 to 1, 30p each way Trixie. So the way that these kind of bets are designed, because I don't do I tend to do them more, to be fair, on the jumps, and because we're on the flat season, I haven't done it as much. But yeah, so it's an each way Trixie. So if all 3 make the frame, we're laughing. If we clearly get 2 winners, we're delighted. 3 places though, it makes a nice profit. 2 places, we just make a tiny profit on the bet. That's how it kind of works. 1 place, you get nothing. 1 winner, you get nothing. All right. That is bet 4. That's Clonmel. Just a reminder, I did a golf bet last night. So if you did want to do a golf bet for Thursday, it's on last night's video at the end, and the golf tournaments start in the morning. So it's the Portugal Masters starts early doors, and then it's the Bermuda Championship that starts at lunchtime-ish. So we've got 3 in the Portugal Masters and 2 players in the Bermuda Championship. But those bets, if you want them, they're on last night's video. All right, I am going to leave it there. Enjoy your rest of your evening, what's left of it, and nightcap or whatever else you're doing. I've suddenly just got like images of people now in like little hats with candles, like watching the video. Anyway, so cool. I'll enjoy that. I'm going to stop talking. I'll see you tomorrow night. So I'll be back Thursday night for Friday selections. Thank you very much. Bye bye.